I get, the more that me having a humiliation is, you know, becomes a real possibility, because I really don't know how I get myself in these situations, but I do. What I'm about to talk about is just my like embarrassing moments of life, truly. I hope this inspires you. I do. I hope this inspires you to be great. To don't make the same mistakes I did. But I mean, I don't regret anything, okay? Because regrets are for the weak. Hello, welcome. I am Prismarina. Big Sis Pris, Destiny K, whatever you want to call me. I'm here to talk about really just failures of my life, and failures that have resulted in a lot of shame. I don't know how to start this. I'm Pisces, which I talk about that a lot. But I really am a hopeless romantic. Like, I love love. I love flirting. I love being a flirty little bitch. And what are you gonna do about it? Like, but the thing is, I was not always like this. I mean, I was always a hopeless romantic. Like, I was in love with a guy in high school for like 4 years, and then I found out that he did like me back at one point, but I didn't confess my feelings. So I've learned a lot, okay? I've learned a lot. I didn't get like any romantic attention growing up. Like, at all. Wait, I have a story time to start this off with. Just to show you, like, I really am oblivious and I don't know what I'm doing. But it's okay. So I used to go to Polish Saturday school. You know, I'm Polish, haha. And there was this guy, okay? And he would like always pick on me. Always like poke me and like make fun of me, and like very, very, very playful. And you know how like kids can be, and how men apparently don't know how to flirt, which is true, by the way. Through all of this, men don't. Okay, there are some men that know how to flirt, but it's far and few in between, unfortunately. Which is very sad for me, because I feel like I have to carry most of the conversations I have. That's not pleasant, but I digress. We sat next to each other in class, and it was kind of like, what's going on here? And I was like, let's say 8. I don't know, I was like very young. And one day this man asks me to be his girlfriend. And I don't mention this in my romantic history because quite frankly, it was quite insignificant. But I got asked out, and I think it was during class as well, or like during break time. We were sitting each other, like we were in class. Find a different moment. Like, why you ruin it? I'm trying to learn some like, I don't know what I was. So I lean into this man, and I say, let me think about it. Because I was caught off guard. I was like, oh my god, he likes me, and I don't really know how to do this. So I was like, yeah. So I lean into this man's ear, and I'm like, I accept. I didn't get any response. He just kind of continued, and I'm like, so I was thinking, I'm like hooked right now. I have a relationship, and like this is it. I am a taken woman at 8 years old. This is fantastic. So then for Valentine's Day, I'm like, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be a romantic little bitch, and I'm gonna create a card. So I took my mum shopping for craft supplies. I really need to ask her about what on earth, like, if she remembers this, because this was so funny. I'm sorry, this is so funny. Also, I'm PMSing, which, like, off topic, but I don't look like this. Like, I don't look like this normally. So anyways, we're doing our thing. So I start to make a card, and I did a card using those like threads. Like, I threaded a heart for him on the paper, and I wrote him a Valentine's Day card, and I'm like, fantastic. So we come in that Valentine's week on Saturday, and he's like messing around in class, and I give him this. And when I tell you, this man couldn't look more confused. This man, he was like, he looked concerned. He was like, what? And then I hid. I hid under the desk, because I was like, I can't deal with this embarrassment right now. And then that's literally where the story ends. I gave him the card. I don't know. I guess I don't remember if he took it. All I know is that we never broke up. So hey, I'm technically not single. We never broke up. So we're still in a relationship. So let me know. Call me up. I wonder what it looks like now. I should reach out. I don't even remember his name. I don't remember. I should really. But like, so that happened. Now this story is really, it was really a turning point. This is the point where I got out of high school. I was 17. I was in college. I was with my bestie. You know, we were hanging out, and I find this guy on TikTok. And I'm like, oh my god, he's so cute, like, have a crush on him. So I follow him on Instagram, and then eventually we start DMing. And I'm like, oh my god, I'm such a Rizzmeister. He was very emo. I have a type. I like multiple people, but like, he was an emo. Like, the black hair, like, makeup, everything. And I'm like, this guy's perfect for me. And turns out he lived in Ireland. And I'm like, okay, that's not too far. Like, I'm not too far, literally a different country. But like, listen, the girls are gonna get it, and I will not prohibit distance from finding the love of my life. And okay. And when we started DMing all the time, and he was bi, and I'm like, okay, fantastic. And turned out that he was single. So we would be like DMing, and we'd be like proper flirting. And we started confiding in each other. I mean, to be fair, he was confiding in me. I wasn't really confiding because I'm such an open book. I can tell a man that like, I went through abuse, which I have, but like, it's nothing new because I talk about it all the time. I talk about it publicly. I talk about it with my friends. It's not like a vulnerable conversation for me. It's, for me to be vulnerable, it's like, it's quite like intensely vulnerable. But men will very easily get convinced by that. I don't know what to tell you there. I don't. We're talking, we're flirting. And when I tell you, me and this man, we're like flirting. And I have Riz. If anyone knows me, I have a Libra moon, okay? Do not mess with me. And I obviously had problems feeling desired for a while. Actually, I still have problems with that. But we don't have to address my insecurities right now. We don't, you know? But anyways, so, like, when I say flirting, I mean, like, I, asked him, oh my god, I should, it's so stupid. Like, it's so stupid. I'm like, I should do your eyeliner. And he's like,
oh my god. Like, wouldn't you have to be close to my face? Like, why don't you sit on my lap while you do my eyeliner?
And I'm like, oh yeah, I could do that. Not platonic is what I'm saying, is... Do you see where this is going? I was like so into this man, and like, we started sending voice notes to each other, and he literally confided in me about his intrusive thoughts and stuff. Like, it was crazy. I thought I was getting somewhere. We sent like cute photos. This was a karmic cycle, my dudes. So when we reconnect, he actually tells me that he might be moving to England, and he might be moving like an hour away from me. And I'm like, this is literally destiny. And at this time, I actually just had a dream about someone with dark brown hair. And you know what I am. I'm spiritual. Like, I believe in this type of stuff. So I'm like, oh my god, this is a sign. And I remember being on a walking to my dad's, and I'm thinking, like, I'm messaging this guy, and I'm like, this is literally destiny. Like, we haven't talked for like 2 months, and then we start talking again, and you tell me that you're moving to England, and you're moving not too far away from me. And I'm like, okay, this can actually be a genuine thing. Like, this is crazy. So we carry on talking, and it's so exciting. And then one day, this man posts to his story that he just got a boyfriend. Everyone look. What the I thought we had something. Like, I'm like, you were outwardly flirting with me. So I message him, and I'm like, what? What on earth? And listen, if you think I'm confrontational now, nah. You should have met younger me. I think the younger I was, the more confrontational I was, to be honest. Like, I was like, how did I don't even know. This is intense, okay? Get this. I'm like, what? Bro, what the And this man goes,
what? It was platonic. It was never like, it was always just us friends. Like,
sir, pull up the receipts. Pull up the receipts. Pull up the receipts. You are lying. What? I'm not dumb. You are lying. I'm thinking, this was never platonic. And I manifested, and I thought, I bet they're gonna break up. And what happened the next day? They broke up. And then it turned out that he was actually an awful person, and I saw him brag on TikTok about outing his friend. And I was like, maybe it's good that we didn't get together. So obviously I've been on the apps. Not really anymore, because I've had enough. And the people on dating apps are crazy. Including me. Honestly, Hinge, more like unhinged. The app designed to be deleted. Yes, but they don't tell you why. So I meet this guy on Hinge, and we talk, and then it kind of, we flirt, and then it just kind of fizzles out. A few months later, I talk to another guy. Same thing happens. We talk, and then it fizzles out. A year later, get this, I find out they're best friends, or dating, actually. I can't tell. They're either dating or best friends. Either way, I desperately need to know. did they know they were both talking to me at different times? But like, something has had to transpire, and I'm just like, I can't believe this, because they don't even live in the same location. But they posted literally a photo of them together, like at the cinema, and I'm like, they know each other and they fled away. Now let's go on to a deep cut wound, if you will. And that is the guy that I met a few months ago that you may have heard about if you have been on my streams. And should I absolutely have not crawled near him? Yes, but I am often delusional. I am, and one day I'll be able to show someone to my friends, and one day they'll be like, oh, they're good looking. I'm literally crazy. I was on tour, basically, as a singing waitress. And so basically we do like events, we sing Broadway songs, and we go to a lot of bars and stuff like that. And we were staying at a hotel, and I was staying with another one of the singers. And I'm saying this because this provides some context as to how, why I was so like affected by this. I was confiding in her about, my lack of relationships in my life, the fact that, I have had the inexperience, and, just like being scared to not be desirable. So that morning we have another conversation, and I'm just like, oh my God, like I wish I could just meet someone, whatever. I go into this venue and we're working, and then I see someone from the corner of my eye. I spot. And when I spot someone, it's like a predator to the prey. I'm telling you, it's intense. I'm an initiator. You can probably tell, considering, everything I've told you. But I was like, this is the hottest man alive. Like, I was convinced. I was ovulating. You can't trust my opinion when I'm ovulating, to be honest. But I was like, this is the man for me. He's perfectly my type. He's like the hottest man I've ever seen. And I immediately go like, we're like in between breaks, and I go like rush on my WhatsApp, and I will show the messages, and I'm like, this is the hottest guy I've ever seen, like to the group chat with the girlies. So in between the songs, I'm like, I need to make my move. I cannot miss on this opportunity. And I can't believe that I was just complaining about this, and I was just like feeling all these feelings, and then suddenly it's like, it was like the universe was sending me a sign. You can't really blame me for thinking that this might be the love of my life. Anyways, I sat flirting with this man. So stupid. I was quite rizzful. Like, I told him, I loved his earrings. I also loved his tattoos. I was like, oh my God, like... And he started asking me some questions about myself, and I'm like, oh my God, am I having a reciprocal flirting experience in person for the first time? Like, I remember at one point, it was really loud and I couldn't hear, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm sorry, I can't hear you. So I went behind the bar, and so he can lean into my ear and tell me what he wanted to tell me, because, well, it's just so loud. I'm ridiculous. I put a crown on his head. It was so romantic. At one point, he caught me in the staff room on the floor. I was going through it on this day. So at the end of my shift, throughout my shift, okay, I gave him my business card, because I carry like little business cards for my music stuff. So I gave him my business card for my Instagram. He's like, thanks, like I'll follow you. And I'm like, and then as I exit, just to make sure, in case he lost the one business card I gave him, I dropped a bunch on the floor. And then I go outside and I'm like, bye. And we get on the bus, on the coach to travel back. And when I tell you, I blasted Enchanted by Taylor Swift in my ears. I was gushing. I really was. I was like, I just found the love of my life. And then I see he follows me. I lose my mind. I lost my mind. I was like, I can't believe it. I was spamming the chat. I'm like, he followed me, man. So we start talking, like briefly, right? And I was like talking about how like, oh, sorry, I'm like a little socially awkward. And he's like, it's okay, because you're cute. Take me out. Cut the cameras. He doesn't reply fast. He doesn't. But I see that he's not online. He doesn't have any pictures of himself online. But it happens, so I can't show the girlies anything. So throughout this entire time that I'm like reporting back to the girlies everything, I don't have any photos to show, and I also don't have any photos of him to like remember. So it's only what I remember. And like I said, I was ovulating, you guys. I was ovulating. So don't trust me, I was delusional. But we talk and we bond, and the thing is, let's be honest, I was carrying most of the conversation. I was, and we got along well, and like it was nice, and It was sweet, but looking back, like in retrospect, I literally was carrying the conversation. At one point, you know, we're talking and he mentions basically that he got out of a 4-year-long relationship recently. But he tells me he got out of this relationship and, red flag, by the way. But I was thinking this is a green flag because he's communicating and he's like, I understand if you need more. And I'm like, you know what? I'm okay to just keep talking. So a month passes and I realize I need to confront this man. So I talk to my girlies and I'm like, let me draft a message. So I draft a message. I actually end up writing a song for him because I end up having some slight feelings and like, I've really tried hard to like not be attached quickly because that's like my flaw is that I get attached really quickly. So I'm like, I'm gonna try my best to just do this like healthfully. This man starts replying very slowly. He occasionally left me on scene, and if you know anything about me, being left on scene is kind of equivalent to being punched in the face. And you know, I don't enjoy that. And I'm thinking, you know what, I just need to tell him how I feel. So, Morgan drafts me a message, and I'm thinking, okay, let's do this. It was really nice. Here's the message. So I send it to him. We were at Weatherspoons. This video isn't finished until you do that. Okay, read it out right now, Eli.
Do you want me to restart from the start?
Yes. Come on.
Okay.
So I sent this message.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, so apologies if this message seems really out of the blue, but I just really wanted to talk to you because, I feel like I just need some clarification on what's been going on between us. I think it's no secret that I have had some feelings for you, and I like you a lot, and I don't entirely know if you do it for me or not. And it's fine either way. I just would appreciate some clarity on the situation.
Morgan ate
I understand that you I understand that you want to keep a level
If
of
she's a
distance
scriptwriter,
while you that's so real.
you can tell.
I understand I understand that you want to keep a level of distance while you come to terms with your last relationship. However, to be completely honest, just leaving me on red for the last week has upset me because I really value communication and would just appreciate knowing how you feel and understand your intentions. Don't be afraid to be honest, please. The more honest, wait, oops. The more the honest, okay, I cannot read. The more the honest you are, the better I will feel. Purple heart
Yeah.
emoji.
It's actually pink. I don't use the purple
Oh,
heart. No,
the
I
the,
actually
the
do
little
because I'm an
thing at
army.
the bottom.
This man doesn't read it. In fact, he's probably seen it now, because I would be curious to read it. Duh. It's a paragraph about me. I'd read it. Come on, in a heartbeat. We never speak. And this was like days after I wrote a song about him as well. Anyways, I'm working on that song and it's gonna be out soon. But I can't have closure without showing my friends what he looks like. So I go on a hunt because I'm crazy. So I go through his following, I go through his tagged, I look through and I try to find any pictures of him. And I find like very dimly lit pictures and I crop them. And then I also went to his work Instagram and see if they posted anything of him. And I find that they did. They posted a TikTok. Oh my god, this is amazing. Ow, I don't know, what did I see in this man? Don't talk about, we've all been there. And I make a collage and I send it. My friends were not pleased with me. They were not. Honorable mention to the guy that I was talking to on Bumble, like every day. And he literally told me he loved me on the first day. Literally, I'm telling you, I attract, first of all, pathetic men. Second of all, men that have mommy issues. And third of all, men that love to love bomb and manic pixie dream girl me. Honorable mention to him because he ghosted me as well. Like, he literally told me he was like in love with me, like, and we talked for like 2-3 weeks, and then he just disappears and doesn't speak to me. But I found his Instagram, and I was very tempted to DM him. Didn't though, because I don't want to be that crazy. Here's another one of my past one. This is just like a cute little mention because while I'm here, I might as well. But like I said, I mentioned earlier, I used to be in love with this man for like 4 years. It was the first guy I was in love with, the first person I fell in love with in my high school. Hey, if you're watching this, hope you're doing well. I think you have a boyfriend now. Hope that's going well. But just so you know, one of my ways is I wanted to confess my feelings. I was in year 7 and I was like, oh my God. And he went to choir. In year 7, he joined choir and I was in choir. And I was like, oh my God, this is perfect. I'm gonna get close to him. This is fantastic. I write this man a card expressing my feelings. I don't put my name on it. Also, not only do I not put my name on it, I don't give it to him. I dropped it on the floor in the choir class. I dropped it under a table in chances that he would pick it up. In chances that he would pick it up, read it, somehow know it was from me. What was I thought the universe would take care of it. It did not. And whatever janitor that found that card probably had the time of their life. Moving on. I meet this guy on an app. Once again, bad idea. The thing is, so I was swiping and I remember looking at him and I was looking at his profile for so long. I was like, this is the man I want. Like, adorable. Oh my God, crazy. He's so talented too. I'm obsessed. And then I accidentally swiped the wrong way. And I was like, oh my God, I need to redo it. So I pressed the redo button. And you have to pay £10 to undo it. And I was thinking, am I gonna pay £10? And I remember I was on Zoe's bed and I'm thinking, do I make a bad financial decision for the potential love of my life? Obviously. And I did, and I paid £10 so that I could like him. This is no longer a joke. And we start talking, obviously, and we're like flirting, and then he reveals to me that he is incredibly down bad. Like, really down bad. Like, won't stop. And obviously he's a man, so he obviously makes everything off the jump. He keeps like telling me about how much he wants me, and I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy. And didn't even imply, he just told me that like we might, I might lose my virginity to you. Okay, sir. And then he tells me he's flying to Japan for 4 months. And I'm like, okay, I can work with this. I'm very understanding, okay? And I love a fantasy. I love like let's get to know each other and then be long distance for 4 months. And then you come back and then it's fine because you live here. He tries to find a date to meet up with me. And then he's like, oh my God, I can't. Like, I'm not free actually. And I'm like, then why the did you? Why did you message me? Why did you match with me? Why did you even do, if you were gonna fly to another country for 4 months? Anyways, I'll compose myself. But I'm like, let's meet up once then before you go. This man ghosts me. He's in Japan now. Hope you're having the time of your life. Hope you're having the time of your life. We still follow each other. So a few weeks later, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna check out his friends. Because his friends also go to the same uni. And I'm like, okay, maybe he has hot friends. And I see one of his friends that's tagged. You know what? Why don't I shoot my shot? And it turns out he's the drummer of his band. And I think, you know what? Let's do it. I follow him. And I just DM him and I'm like, I just wanted to say I love your style. And I'm like, obviously like really nervous. And I'm like, I think it's also kind of funny. Honestly, I was doing it for the plot. Okay, can you blame me? I'm just a girl, you know? This man the next day, I check. This man didn't reply to me. He removed me as a follower. This man removed me as a follower. He didn't block me. He didn't like restrict me. He didn't reply. He didn't ignore it. He removed me as a follower. But let's move on to something even more mortifying while we're at it. Okay, so let me set the scene. We are out clubbing. Me, my sister, and Morgan, my bestie. And they're like all getting drunk and I'm basically sober. I haven't really drank much, not really feeling it. But we go to a random club and I'm like, vibing, whatever. I have like this random guy hitting on me, but like he's not my type and he's just being weird and, whatever. And then I spot someone and I'm thinking, oh yeah. I'm like, I literally need to shoot my shot now because I tell you, I was so into this man. And I tell my, like, I tell my sister and I tell Morgan and I'm like, hey, like, oh my God, what on earth? Like, ugh. And they look at him and they're like, oh, he is hot. And I'm like, oh my God, this is a good sign. And I'm thinking, oh my God. And he's like with his friends and he's like chilling over there. And they're like, come on, go do it. Like, hit on him. And they're both like drunk. And I'm like, so they're like, we're like going back and forth. They're like, come on, just do it. Just do it. And then they kind of just push me forward and I'm like, I'll just do it. And I just start walking away and I'm like, I have to do this now. Like literally, if I don't do this, I was like hyping myself up. I'm like, if I don't do this now, I'm gonna regret it. I'm gonna regret it. And what's the worst that can happen? So I go up to this man and the first thing I say is like, hi, like, sorry, I just feel like starstruck. Why did I say that? Why did I say that? And he's like, don't worry, no, don't be starstruck. I'm just a normal person. And we start talking and I'm like, hi, like, what are you doing here? Like, whatever. And we're talking and it's like kind of flirtatious and he keeps kind of like lightly touching me. And you know, when people do that, you know, right? Like at one point I nearly fell off like the little platform we were on and like he held my waist a little and I was like, oh, ooh. Lock me away. And he tells me he's a bartender. And I'm like, I notice a pattern. Yeah. And we're talking and he shows me like a video of him bartending. This man goes on his phone and shows me a video of him bartending. And I look to the left. And suddenly my sister and Bessie that were over there are next to me on the table. And I'm like, well, not on the table. They were like sat next to each other, just directly next to me. And they were like eavesdropping in. And I'm like, oh my God, hello. It's going really well. We talk for a solid few minutes and like, it's kind of like flirtatious and back and forth. Like I said, like the touching. And I'm like, oh my God, this is like, it felt so genuine. And I was like, this is like so great. And then, you know, we were talking about what we do. And I mentioned, oh, I'm actually a singer. And this man, you know, goes, oh, really? My girlfriend's a singer too. Girlfriend? Not only does it tell me that, he proceeds to tell me that his girlfriend is Filipino. So she has those like big vocals. Just rubbing it in, you know? When I tell you, I wanted the world to swallow me whole. I did. I wanted... Like, I don't think I've ever been more mortified. No, I have been. But, in my adult life, I guess, I have chills. I have chills. I have chills thinking about it. I was mortified. And I'm thinking, I need to leave. And you know when you get that urge and you're like, I literally need to leave this premises? Like, right now. Like, that's the only thing on your mind. And I go to Morgan. And I'm like, hey. And then she's like, oh my God, how is it going? And I lean in her ear and I said, he has a girlfriend. And she's like, oh, I'm sorry. We need to leave. Like literally like this, like maniacally smiling. Like, I need to leave. I need to get out. I need to leave. And she's like, well, we're not done with our drinks. And I'm like, I need to leave. So they're like, you know, try to get their drinks down, whatever. And my back is away, like my back is facing towards him. And I'm just like, I don't want to look at this man. I need to leave. So eventually finish our drink and we take our stuff, we go on our way, and he's like, nice meeting you. And I'm like, yeah, nice meeting you too. I go outside, I immediately start screaming. Immediately. I literally start stomping on the ground and I say, I'm so embarrassed. I was just in my mind. I was like, I can't believe I was dying. I really wanted to die. In that moment, I wanted not to be on Earth anymore. And I was talking with them and they're like, no, like, we're so proud of you that you even did that. Like, we pretended to be a lesbian couple so we could eavesdrop on you. I'm like, holy horses, what do you mean? And they're like, well, yeah, we were pretending we were on a date. Like, we even kissed. I'm like, first of all, how does that help me? Second of all, I missed that. Third of all, how is that I was like, what is going on? And then we ended up going to a bar next door, going to the arcade bar. And I really just I was still like in my mortified era. And I crashed these two people. And I'm like, I literally tell them exactly what just happened. because I needed this stranger to know. And I tell this girl, and I'm like, this is what happened, and she's like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. And we're like confiding, and I'm like vibing with this random girl, and she's with this guy, and then they tell me they're on a first date. Like, I asked them, you know, what are you doing here? They're like, we're on a first date. And I'm like, I just crashed this first date. And then I accidentally flirt with the girl. And then I'm like, oh my god, I'm sorry. I'm literally hitting on your date right now. I did not mean to do that. And then I leave, and no, I'm going to leave it there because I think I've modified. I think I've been too modified, and I've embarrassed myself enough. Let me know if you I don't really know what this is, but I hope you enjoyed it. I've enjoyed this. I have filming this. This is just ridiculous, and I have so many stories like this. And you know, maybe one day I will find the love of my life. Maybe I will. Until then, I will have really good stories to tell, though. Honorable mention to the guy that I was really into at a train station, and I got the courage to sit next to him, and he looked at me like he was terrified of me and left. Stood up and left. I've had experiences with women too. I've been ghosted by women. I've been ghosted more times than I can count.
A top's gotta do what a top gotta do.
I'm gonna go cry. I hope you have a wonderful day or night. And don't do what I've done.